Right. Moving on now to President Biden appearing to snub the vice president at a charity event this week. The two were helping prepare meals in a D.C. soup kitchen when Biden was asked by a reporter what he was thankful for.
What are you thankful for?
How about that gal standing next to you? Former Senate Majority Leader, Chief Counsel Alex Vogel, and former Biden campaign surrogate Kevin Walling joins us virtually with the reported growing rift between the president and vice president. Alex and Kevin, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for taking time. Kevin, I've got to start with you because I know how much of a supporter of President Biden you are, but it does appear that there is trouble in paradise, as they say, a rift growing between the president and vice president. What's going on?
Yeah, Griff, happy Thanksgiving. You know, this is, D.C.'s favorite parlor game is to game out and to read the tea leaves of every interaction between a president and a vice president. We know this in Republican and Democratic administrations. For example, I think Dick Cheney and George W. Bush stopped talking for the last 6 months of their administration. Of course, we know what happened with President Trump and Mike Pence towards the end of their administration. So there's always going to be this kind of game about the relationship between the president and the vice president. Listen, I've seen the two of them up close and personal, not just on the campaign trail, but now governing. There is a mutual respect, affection, admiration between the two of them, and it's also shared by their spouses, Doug Emhoff, the second gentleman, and Dr. Joe Biden. So I don't read into any kind of this. This is, they were at a soup kitchen. The president wanted to elevate the voice of the chef there that serves the meals and highlight his great work for the community. I don't think there's anything there between that supposed snub.
Well, I'm not sure that everyone agrees with you, Kevin. Let me show you a few headlines, Alex, from the media that we had this week on this growing rift, starting with CNN calling it exasperation and dysfunction inside Kamala Harris's frustrating start as vice president. Politico, Biden's successor, chatter grows, and Harris isn't scaring off anyone. There are several. And let's note the vice president's poll numbers reaching an all-time low of 28%. Alex, is this just a parlor game? Is there real trouble here?
I don't think it's just a parlor game. I mean, first of all, we're only a year into this administration. Feels a little early for this to just be parlor game driven. Also worth pointing out, there's probably only one person who's jealous of Joe Biden's polling right now, and that's the vice president, because hers is absolutely brutal. And that's what's creating the environment for this conversation to happen, whether it's about the president snubbing her or whether it's about Secretary Buttigieg or one of the other potential opponents.
All right, guys, you and I both know that certain times in this town, you see a headline and you say, whoa. Now, let me show you a Politico headline that caught my eye, and that is about former Mayor Pete Buttigieg, now Transportation Secretary, saying that he may actually be on the short list to run. What do you say? Here it is. Buzz grows about Buttigieg 2024. Kevin, what are you hearing?
Yeah, Griff, I think this is everyone's favorite parlor game. We're 1,000 days out from the 2024 election. Everyone is gaming out. Of course, you have a president that's somewhat older, but has given every indication that he is running for re-election in 2024. He's got a lot of time before the midterms, and of course, is re-elected in 3 years. So, again, this is something that, a lot of Politico, other news agencies want to drive clicks to their sites, want to set up this kind of rivalry between cabinet secretaries, the vice president, what have you. I think it's a drive to just turn out views necessarily, and we're a long ways away from 2024.
It is, Kevin, but let me, Alex, ask you, because there are staffers telling Politico, and what we were showing there, that they're not backing away from the possibility of a Buttigieg possible future candidacy, and also sources telling Politico that Harris staffers are frustrated to see this. Is this we're not even a year into this administration. Is this a pivot, or is this perhaps Mayor Pete trying to elevate beyond Transportation Secretary?
Well, I think it's a combination of both, and a couple of things worth keeping in mind. First, Secretary Buttigieg in the last decade has run for mayor, which he won. He's run for state treasurer, which he lost. He's run for chair of the DNC, which he lost. And he ran for president of the United States, which he also lost. I think he may want to spend a little time worrying about being Secretary Buttigieg to game out whether or not he should consider pursuing other options. The other reality, though, is, again, it's smart for Secretary Buttigieg's folks to push back on some of this and try and tamp it down, or he's going to find the next 3 years he's being told to focus on, Arctic Circle transportation or something else he doesn't want to. This is a very dangerous game to be playing given the sensitivities and the very public pushback from the vice president's folks.
Alex Vogel and Kevin Walling, thank you both, gentlemen, for coming on. In the last 10 seconds, let's see if we can get you to agree. White meat or dark meat, Alex?
White.
Kevin?
We're in total agreement. I'm a white meat guy, too.
There we go, and there is agreement after all. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Appreciate it.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Griff. Good to see you, Alex.
Arthel?